I'm at the Victor's Chip in the wee pub with very special guest, Сэм Hьúen.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be in the Wee Chip bar. This is actually one of my favourite bars in Glasgow. I used to come here a lot with my friends, and we've almost got the best seat in the house. The best one is the one over there with a whiskey barrel. But I'm very happy to be here. Good to see you, finally in the flesh.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming. So yeah, obviously whiskey bar. Last time you were on Scran, we were talking about the Sassenach about to be launched in the UK. It's been a couple of years. How's it going?
How is it going? It's going very well. Yeah, touch wood. Thankfully, everything here is made of wood. It's going really well. We spoke, I can't believe it's 2 years ago. And for those people that don't know, the Sassenach was a passion project, I suppose. I always have loved whiskey. For me, I have kind of an emotional attachment to whiskey. Certainly, traveling around the world, whenever I had a wee dram, a single malt from Scotland, it would really take me back to Scotland. And I wanted to create something that was not only accessible, but really reflected, some of the great whiskey we have in Scotland. So we created a blended whiskey, a premium blended whiskey called the Sassenach Spirit of Home. It's a 19-year-old organic grain, which I love. I love grain whiskies, and then 2 single malts, a 12 and a 9-year-old in there. And it's doing really well. We've just signed a deal in the US with Southern Glazers, one of the biggest distributors in the US. I think we're in about 44 states now, which has been amazing because we are self-financed. We designed it all ourselves, from the bottle to the logo to obviously the whiskey itself. So it's been a great journey, but we're really happy. Nice.
Well, going on from whiskey to tequila, it's National Margarita Day.
Is it?
Margarita Day.
I think it would be rude not to have a margarita today.
Yeah. Good excuse.
Yeah, I'm sure the barmaid, she'll be down here in a second. Very good service in here, I must add. But I love tequila. And actually, just a small story about how ours came into being is that, there she is now, just in time before I get started. In fact, it's not tequila.
It's not tequila.
It's gin. Thank you very much.
It looks lovely in that bottle, though.
It does, and there's a story behind this. Thank you so much. We'll get into that later. Yeah. But this is a very special Sassenach gin. You're the first person to try it outside of us. But I'll cheers to you.
Cheers.
I'll tell you a bit more about tequila.
Cheers.
Slange.
Very nice.
I'm watching you with bated breath.
Imagine I go like this.
But we'll get into the gin in a second. The story of the tequila is we'll basically have some friends that we went out to Jalisco, and we met a bunch of producers out there, went to a bunch of different distilleries, and really got on very well with Tony Sayas, who's a 3rd generation master distiller. And he loved our whiskey. We took our whiskey with us, and we just got talking, and we realized that we had a lot of the same passions. A lot of the Mexican culture is quite similar to the storytelling in Scotland, and their love for craft and for delicious spirits. So it just kind of came around organically, and we thought, let's create a tequila in collaboration with them that sort of reflects my love of whiskey as well. So it's a very unique bottling. It's a double wood reposado. So it's been aged in American oak and then 4 months in French oak, which gives it this really kind of like a champagne quality, like very elegant. No additives, none of your glycerin or sweeteners or vanilla extract that a lot of these high-end celebrity tequilas put in. So I'm really proud of it. It's available here in a very small bottling in the UK and also in the US.
And was the plan to always do that? Did you think, I'm going to start whiskey, go tequila, or how does the thought process kind of come about?
A lot of thought goes into it, and honestly, whiskey is my passion, and I really love it. And we've got great plans ahead of us for other whiskeys, but actually, gin was where we started, and it's taken longer for us to get here. But I'm really excited to talk about the gin. But the tequila, it was COVID, just before COVID, and we met Tony and we got on with him really well, and we thought, let's just see what it's like. So it is a very delicious tequila.
Nice. So the gin, it's here. It's in front of us. It's in a not its bottle, but it's still a lovely bottle.
Thank you. Yes. So this is our dare I say, something like our 12th batch, I wanted to create a Scottish gin, something that represents where I'm from, represents Scotland. Everything comes from Scotland, all the botanicals, and I wanted to create something that was from where I'm from, which is Dumfries and Galloway. So we looked at all the botanicals you can get, and we distilled each one individually to try see what it was like. Put our favourites together, and then have tried, subsequent recipes. And this is where we're at now. We're almost ready to be released this summer. I'm really, really excited by this gin. It's very Moorish, very well balanced. It's not like a lot of other gins. We distill it with a sort of innovation style. So mostly, I've been trying to explain this to my mum actually. And I'm like, this is how you make gin. And I don't even know the full process myself, but essentially, you put your botanicals, let's say, in a tea bag, and you're putting the tea bag in the kettle, and you boil the kettle, and that's getting all the flavors, which then goes into the steam and condenses. So what we're doing, instead of boiling our tea bag in the kettle, so to speak, so it becomes stewed, which I think a lot of gins do, we're steeping our tea bag in the water or the kettle, so to speak, taking that out and then distilling it. So our gin isn't as strong in a single flavor profile, or it doesn't have that stewed effect, but it should be a lot more balanced. I would almost say, it's kind of like a vodka in a way, that it's just so balanced. I mean, we have 8 different botanicals in there, but I'm obsessed with it. It's delicious.
Yes,
so
it is.
I'm gonna have to drink more.
Yeah.
And actually, I wanted to try it on its own.
Okay. It's really clean, tastes really clean. And are you allowed to say what the botanicals are? Do you want to say what they are?
Yes, I'd love to. Pause for breath.
Pause for gin.
Yeah, so pause for gin. Exactly, that should be a t-shirt. Pause for gin. Yes, so Scotland. Well, I mean, firstly, I guess everything you see when you're walking through a glen or in southwest of Scotland. And for me, the main one in here is crabapple. Scotland obviously is very difficult to find citrus in Scotland. A lot of other gins use, lemon, mango, orange, but the only real citrus we could find that was strong enough was crabapple. And I just remember being a kid picking crabapples, and they're so sour, you can't really eat them. I used to try, but they would give you sort of stomachache. But they're so sour, but they're very abundant in Scotland. So we've gone with that in a very high concentration. So we've got a real sort of citrus zing. Then we've got heather, which is an amazing botanical. It's got this real herby flavor to it, but it's also kind of earthy as well. And obviously heather's synonymous with Scotland. And then one of my favorites is we've got toasted oats. I'm a huge pottage fan, and I just love the sort of mouthfeel you get from them. You get a real creaminess. And then we've got blackberry leaf, because actually the leaves of blackberries hold a lot of flavour. Blaeberry, which is, if many people know, is like almost like a blueberry, like a wild blueberry that would grow in Scotland. And what else? I think that's it. How many have I mentioned now? I said blaeberry,
oats,
crabapple, blackberry leaf. Yeah. What else haven't I mentioned? Toasted oats. No, I said toasted oats. Geez, what else am I missing?
Juniper? We
have got juniper in there. And you know what's interesting? I don't really love juniper. A lot of gins can be quite juniper heavy. However, I found when we took it out, I found that actually it lacked a bit of body. So we do have juniper in there, and actually, especially as a gin and tonic, I think you need that juniper just to cut through a lot of tonics. I mentioned that we've used a particular tonic for this one that's quite a neutral flavor profile, so it doesn't get overbeared by the tonic, which a lot of tonics sometimes, if you look at them, actually are quite strong in a flavor profile. So yeah, juniper. There's a small amount of juniper in there. What am I blanking on? Juniper, crabapple, blackberry leaf, blaeberry, toasted oats, crabapple. It'll come to me. I think that's it.
Heather, you said heather.
Heather, 7. There's one more. 8. Oh, I've said juniper.
I think so.
I think that's it.
Okay.
There you go. I think I've had too much gin already.
And how would you see the perfect serve?
Right. Well, another part of the process was I'm a huge cocktail fan. And what I found say 40% is that gin is so drinkable, very balanced, very smooth, but it doesn't really stand up in a cocktail. So, here we go. Here's our starters. Oh, that looks amazing.
Nice.
Your salmon.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
This is your haggis here. Just be careful with the salt.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, talking about the perfect setup, I guess the strength of it, we were looking at 40%, and it just doesn't stand up in cocktails. And I love a good cocktail. My favourite's probably, we all love a Negroni, don't we? But so we raised the alcohol volume, and that's 42%, which I think also is great. I love that mouthfeel of alcohol, especially. It's the same with our whiskey, which is 46%. You do get a mouthfeel with it, like a heaviness on the tongue. And I think that's important. And it comes through in a gin and tonic as well.
Can you say who you've worked on it with? The distillery or the company?
Well, I worked with a distiller, Craig Rankin, who's also from Dumfries and Galloway. So we wanted someone who just understands where I'm from, and really wanted to capture an essence of southern Scotland, or Scotland in a bottle. And he's been so diligent. We've drunk a lot of gin. We've tried a lot of different variations, and really, pushed the envelope to how far we could put flavour into the gin, and try different varietals. So it's been a real process, but he's been fantastic to work with, and I guess the proof is in the taste.
And so, are we going to be able to see either your whiskey or your gin or your tequila, or all three, behind bars, or is it just going to be for home consumption?
Yeah, no, you can actually. Well, in the US, we're working on bars and restaurants. In the UK, we've got exclusive with Tom Kitchen, great Michelin star chef in Edinburgh, and we've got 3 of his restaurants. We've got our whiskey at the moment, and obviously the gin. We also want to get out into the world as well. So yeah, I really want to have it in bars and restaurants. We have some initial talks at the moment with some other bars and restaurants in the UK. So you will see it behind the bar very soon.
Good, nice. Do you want to eat? I don't want it to go
do
cold.
So just
Mine is cold.
Anyone that's listening, I suppose, I got the haggis. With it. I'm not sure what that is.
Well, I'm not going to say this. The story you told me last time, I'm not going to say till you've eaten.
Right. Can I read on the menu what that is?
What's on top of it?
Yeah. Here we go. So I have the ubiquitous chips. Try saying that after a few gins. Venison haggis with turnip and potato puree. And you have cured salmon with comfy potatoes, mustard, and oyster velouté.
Velouté.
I know.
That's a great word in a Scottish accent.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Slanger.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in for the haggis here. This is venison haggis, which is a
bit different.
bit different, very rich, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't eat normal haggis because I don't eat lamb, so that's probably quite nice.
That is delicious. Wow. Excuse us while we fill our boots, as they say. How was your salmon?
Good, yeah, really nice.
What is that round thing?
Some kind of roulade? Is that?
It's a roulade.
Yeah.
Well done. Put that one out the bag. So, yes, so lots of gin talk, but no, we're really happy about where it's at, and I don't think the recipe will change that much, but it will be out this summer, so just in time for the
good weather.
The good weather, yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And where do you know now where you're going to be able to buy it if you want to buy some? Or are you still kind of...
Yeah, no, I mean, it will be readily available. I think the problem we had with the whiskey, or not a problem, I think a success, but it was a limited batch. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to get your hands on, the ingredients, 19-year-old grain whiskey, particular one, because it's been aged in sherry cask, or Oloroso. So, the gin, we can obviously make a lot more of, and it's easier to get access to. So, yeah, it will be in hopefully bars and restaurants and your local retailer.
Good. Yeah. So does that mean eventually you're going to have to change the recipe of the Sassenach whiskey?
No. I mean, we fortunately we're in a place that will never change, but there is only a limited amount, and our producers are already, aging whiskey now for future. But I think that's the thing, people sometimes don't think about that, when you're drinking a 21 or a 19-year-old whiskey, it has to be sitting aside, and has to be aging for that long, and there is a finite amount of it. So I guess that's why whiskey is also cherished so much, because it is limited. I think that's what's so great about whiskey as well, that it is a small batch, and we do a small batch release every year. So get your hands on it while you can.
Yeah. Nice. So, right, whiskey, still staying on whiskey. I think I asked you this last time, but I've slightly changed the question. So, obviously the Sassenach will be your favourite whiskey, but what else are you drinking heading into spring?
Into spring? Wow.
Which hopefully we are.
Well, hopefully we are. I mean, I guess I have been drinking so much gin recently. Tasting, should I say, a lot of gin. But sticking with whiskey, I mean, I love the sort of Asian blended whiskies, and that's where our Sassenach whiskey came from. I was inspired by, you know, the Hibikis and even the Vietnamese, the Cavalan, which is fantastic. And I realized we didn't really have a high-end premium Scottish blended whiskey that was full of character. I mean, you can look at the Johnny Walkers and, you know, it's fine and it's great, but there's no malt in there. It's not a very malty whiskey. So it doesn't, to me, really feel like a Scottish whiskey. So yeah, that's why we created the Sassenach, because I wanted to create high-end premium Scottish whiskey. So what am I drinking?
Yeah,
lots of whiskey. Yeah, the Cavalan. Yeah, Hibiki. Love all of those. What else have I got? I've got a great collection at the moment. I've been sort of
do you like Loch Lee? That's just launched.
So I know John Campbell, who used to be at Lochroig, and he went over to run Loch Lee, and I have tried, I think, one of them. I think they've got 3 different expressions at the moment. But
one behind the bar.
Is there? I must try it, actually. But no, John was great. I met him like a number of times. We were filming Men in Kilts, a sort of travel TV show on Isla, and we went to Lochroig and tasted some great whiskies, and he taught us all about whiskey production. But I think they're doing great stuff. I like the bottle as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, so good stuff going on there. And actually, if I'm honest, I love American whiskey. Not bourbon, I love rye. I'm really into rye. So every time I go to America, I always bring back a bottle with me that I can't get over here. There's something about rye whiskey. It's probably because it's spicy and fruity. There's a lot of flavour in there. I find bourbon a little sweet for me, but my go-to cocktail would probably be a perfect rye Manhattan.
Nice. That actually is a question for later on.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, you're fine.
Myself.
Just carry on. I don't want you doing all the talking, so I don't want your lunch to go cold.
I mean, it's not going to go cold. It's not going to be much left in a minute. It's delicious though. Interestingly, spicy food, and haggis can be kind of spicy, peppery.
Yep.
Goes really well with gin.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Even at curry, and we're next door to some great curry shops, curry and gin somehow works really well. It sort of brings out the botanicals. So yeah.
Yeah, on you go. So you're probably going to get asked this a lot. With Outlander coming to an end, what is next? Could we see a Scottish Sassenach distillery?
Wow. Well, yes, Sassenach. Oh boy, gin's strong. Outlander is coming to an end. Yeah, we announced the final season. We're just about to finish season 7. We've been shooting for a year, which has been crazy year to shoot in. You know, sort of the end of COVID, and it just feels like this time last year we started, and it does feel like another season ago. But we will be back for season 8, which is great to be able to finish the story. And we've been on this journey now for almost 10 years, so it feels right to finish it. But also, I'm excited that we get the opportunity to tell the story that we started off. And it's going to be a sad day when we get to it, but thankfully we've still got a bit more time left. And afterwards, who knows? You know, we love the journey of the Sassenach whiskey. I think the gin's going to do really well. I'm really happy with it. So who knows? Maybe a distillery in the future.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It would be a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not against it. I'm open to anything really.
Okay.
Giving nothing away.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah, so just carry on.
But in the future, also coming up, I do have a movie coming out this May. And it's a rom-com called Love Again. And I shot it during COVID, it's been delayed quite a while because we still had some scenes to shoot with one of the main characters, or main people, which is Celine Dion.
How was that?
It was amazing. She's an incredible person, and obviously she's had a lot of health issues, which has, I think, delayed her tour. I think thankfully she's definitely getting better, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. So I'm excited for that to come out as well.
And shooting during COVID as well, that must have been weird.
Yeah, it was tough actually. I'm very lucky that we could still work, but we were in London and it was in sort of lockdown and then coming out of lockdown, but it was just very strange, especially on set. We weren't allowed to be more than 45 minutes in the same room as the director. You had to wear a mask, the windows had to be open, and of course keeping everyone safe, which is great, but very difficult to create, a chemistry or a bond with someone. But we had a great time. Myself and Priyanka, we drank a fair amount of tequila and whiskey as well, and we got to hang out, out with her shootings, and she's a fantastic person. So we had some great dinner at hers as well, which was amazing. She's got her own restaurant in New York called Sona, which is modern Indian. And I've been there a couple times. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. And they do a great margarita.
It's good to know, because I'm going to New York end of March.
Go to Sona. It's very, very good. They have a spicy margarita, is very good. But also you must go to my friend's restaurant called Chinese Tuxedo. Paul Donnelly is a Scottish chef, but it's modern Chinese. It's in this amazing old Chinese ballroom. Opera room or ballroom, I can't remember, but it's in Chinatown, and it goes dated back to the 1920s, and they have this secret bar downstairs, and there's the old tunnels that the Chinese mafia used to use to go between different locations, and there's even bullet holes above them where they would sort of shoot each other, these two different warring gangs. But he's doing great stuff there, and actually they are serving the Sassenach whiskey in a great cocktail called breakfast scotch, and it's delicious. It's with walnut oil. It's delicious.
Nice. That sounds good. Okay, I'm definitely doing that.
It's a great city. I love New York.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we've talked drink, now we're going to talk food. So you've written books as well as everything else that you're doing, and there's recipes in the Clanlands Almanac. So how did you go about selecting them?
Yeah, there are.
Sorry, I keep asking you, you're trying to eat.
This is good. It's a test to see if I can answer a question with my mouth full. I'm just cramming it into my mouth. Yeah, we've done a series of books called The Clanlands. They're based on our journey that we went on shooting Men in Kilts in Scotland, season 1. We've just done season 2 in New Zealand this last year, which we're waiting to come out. And with each show, we've done a book. And we also did the Almanac as a sort of segue book, more of a sort of a gift item, really. But it's an almanac of everything Scottish, I think, everything we love. So there's, my favourite walks to my favourite mountains to Graham's favourite massacres, which is a little worrying. But he does love a good battle. And some great recipes as well. And I think I even mentioned some places to go out, bars and restaurants that I like going to. But as for recipes, yeah, I mean, we kept in Tony Singh's amazing langoustines that he did on the beach for the show with a chili seaweed butter, which was just to die for. Really delicious. We had lobster with that as well. And I think, we even shot at, as I said, Tom Kitchen's place in Edinburgh, at Kitchen, which was a really fun experience. He's such a great host. His food is amazing. If you haven't had the scallops, have you had them? The famous scallop, it's like this baked in the shell scallop. And he puts pastry around the edge of the shell and puts it in the oven. So when you open it, you have this sort of French white sauce with your scallops, very, very elegant, very delicate. But then you can break off the pastry, dip it. I'm literally salivating. You can dip it in the sauce. It's so delicious. But we actually spent Graham's stag do in there recently. We went for dinner and they did a special tasting menu for us, which was utterly sensational.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'm getting full.
Right,
yeah,
really?
I'm getting full. Yeah, but I will keep going.
Okay, that's fine. I
I'm
don't
gonna
want
keep
to.
drinking my gin as well.
Cheers. Yeah, you just need the sun to be out for that. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, well, I'd love you to try it straight, actually, because that was the whole point of it as well. It's like in a martini, it tastes fantastic. You know, it's it's so balanced. It's got these great sort of profiles of all the different botanicals, and it's kind of fruity, but not in a sort of, I don't know, terrible fruit punch kind of way. It's just the sort of blackberry. Oh, rhubarb! There we go. Dear God, how could I forget rhubarb? Rhubarb is one of the main botanicals we used, and because we have a lot of wild rhubarb growing around my house, and what I've been doing the past few years is picking it, and I'll roast it with a wee bit of orange or lemon zest, and I've been putting it in gin, making my own sort of rhubarb pink gin, letting it infuse. You should do that, it's fantastic. But I really wanted to get rhubarb in there because also it's sweet, but not in a sort of, I don't know, overtly sweet sense. There's a real umami about rhubarb. It's got like a real richness to it. I always think about like the side of my mouth when I taste our gin. There's something about here, about your taste buds over here, that I think a lot of gins don't get. And I think it's the rhubarb that adds that.
Nice.
Rhubarb.
There we go.
Thank God.
You'll never forget it now.
No, you can't forget it.
So you're having your venison haggis, but you were vegetarian.
Yes.
What made you go over to the other side? Was it a bacon roll?
It wasn't a bacon roll. I'm not a huge fan of a bacon roll, it has to be said. However, the best breakfast bacon roll I've ever had was, we were shooting Men in Kilts. We finished the night before. We were staying at the Fife Arms in Braemar.
Oh, it's an amazing hotel.
It's amazing.
It's bonkers though.
Bonkers. They have works of art there. They have great food, great rooms. It's such a nice spot. And I came out, I was a little hungover, and my driver, Davey, fantastic, had popped next door to, I think, the local butcher and bought two bacon rolls with a tatty scone, and it was honestly the best. I still think about that bacon roll today. But yeah, I don't know, eating meat, I go through phases of thinking I should not, and then it feels good. I do eat meat, in that, I don't know, I feel I have energy, it fills me up. I spent 20 years of my life not eating meat, and I think you can. Obviously, I'm totally into vegetarianism and veganism, but I think just for me, I felt like I was tired, and I just think I've got a better balance when I eat meat. But I'm certainly very wary of where the produce comes from. I think we need to be, and I think cutting down is a good thing too.
Yes.
He says spooning venison haggis.
Although I think venison's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Well, it is a pest here in Scotland, and we need to cull them, I think. Might be making this up, but no, they can decimate, quite quickly areas of wildlife and grassland, and I think it's important that they do keep the numbers in check, I think.
They don't have natural predators unless we want to reintroduce wolves, which would be quite scary.
Well, maybe we could do that. Yeah, I mean, I'd be down.
Can you
Which means
imagine?
your hike up a Munro might be a little more challenging.
Well, you might be running up it.
Well, certainly. Yeah.
Talking of which, my Peak Challenge.
Yes.
How did all that come about? And what is it for anyone that doesn't know?
Yes, My Peak Challenge is a health and wellness platform that created a number of years ago, and I love it. We have a community around the world now. We're in 85 different countries. We have ambassador groups. We have about 20,000, I think, members. And while they're helping themselves, create a healthy lifestyle, they're also helping others because we support a number of charities. We've raised, I believe, over $7 million now for charity. And each year we pick a new one. And so your member, our peakers, as we call them, they're fantastic. They get a daily workout video, meal plans. There's a forum, there's meditation, there's yoga. Everything is completely adaptable to your whatever skill set you've got, whether you've ever been to a gym before or you're just at home or whatever it is. And it's just so rewarding. So each year we support a different charity. This year we're supporting the Ocean Conservancy. We've supported food banking, blood cancer, UK, hospice care, testicular cancer, everything. Yeah, so it's really rewarding, and I love being part of it. And I think it's important also to have a good balance. It's not all just gin and whiskey. It's good to also to look after yourself and create a healthy lifestyle, but also helping others, which I think is really important.
And is that where it came from? Like, you're sort of want to keep yourself healthy and then kind of get other people involved?
Yeah, I came back to Scotland to work on the show and did a lot of hill walking and wanted to share my passion for that. And I found that people also working out, and I think people didn't really know where to start. So we're just providing education really for helping people. It's not a huge overhaul of your lifestyle. It's literally just introducing small habits. And a lot of our members, are people that, have either kind of not put themselves first or forgotten about, how important it is to maintain these habits. So, honestly, our peakers they're amazing, and they inspire me a lot as well. They motivate me.
We're in Glasgow, obviously. You've mentioned this is one of your favourite bars. Do you have a favourite restaurant or cafe or somewhere in Glasgow that you love?
Oh, that's so hard, because I think since I lived here as a student, and then even in the past few years, it's changed so much. Obviously, this area, Ashton Lane, Byres Road, is great. And then the whole Finiston area is really up and coming. Bunch of new places opening up. I know 6 by Nico are opening up another premises on Byres Road. So I do like to bounce between them all. Had a great night out last weekend. I took my team from Outlander to say thank you for the hard work. We went to Gaga, which is in Dumbarton Road, which was incredible food, really good. I guess, what would you call it? Malaysian?
Yeah, kind of.
Such great service. The food was delicious. And then we went to the West End Tavern, which is a kind of dive bar, New York style. It's really fun. And then ended up at the Doublet, which actually might be my new favourite pub.
That's a good one.
It's a real old man's boozer, but kind of quite trendy and fun. But I'm really excited actually about Stravagan. Used to be there a lot, and that's opening up, I believe, next week. New refit. So I think the same people own this place. Yeah,
they're having a big party.
Might see you there.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. I'll be there. So, dinner party guest, if you could choose 3 guests, dead or alive, to invite to a dinner party, who would they be and why?
3 guests to a dinner party?
Could be anyone.
I mean, I feel the pressure might be on. Hopefully I'm not hosting it. So I'd like to invite a chef. He does his own, and I've mentioned it before, but Tony Singh, brilliant chef, great host, great party man. My good friend Graham McTavish, I spoke about earlier, had his wedding recently, and Tony did a event for them. I think it was a 6 or 7 course menu. I think they were all absolutely heaving by the end. They were just so full, but they had such a fun time with him, and he's a great host. So I think Tony would be certainly one of them. Other dinner party guests, I suppose someone historical with a good conversation. Maybe. I was actually thinking maybe Barack Obama or someone like that. I know he'd be a very cool person to hang out with. I feel like he might be a bit of a whiskey man, might even like a cigar. So he would be good after dinner, have a chat with him over a cigar. And then someone who could keep the party going. There's so many choices out there. To be honest, it'd be my makeup artist, Wendy. She's wonderful. She's just such fun. We had, as I said, this night out recently. But she's been, my rock. She's been my best friend for the shooting the whole 10 years of Outlander. So yeah, I'll bring her.
Nice. So this is a bit of a curveball. Mm-hmm. We've had Andy Murray say do it. Would you put yourself forward for First Minister? And if so, what would you do in the role?
I'd vote for Andy Murray. I would. Oh, could you imagine him? Especially when he got angry. That'd be fantastic. Firstly, I'm a fan of Nicola Sturgeon. I thought she did a great job, and I think she's been a great figure for the country, and very strong. I think we need to have someone like that. I hope it's not what I just said.
No, it's the tonic.
But yeah, I don't know. Would I be First Minister? Sure, why not? Yes, I'll put my hat in the ring. Me and Andrew Murray.
And what would you do in the role?
I mean, certainly it would be a 4-day work week. There would be free gin for everyone. And I don't know if we'd get much done.
No.
Yeah, but it would be a damn good time.
Good. Yeah. There's a quick fire round, which is new.
Come on then.
It's not the same as the last time. Mm-hmm. So just tell me the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay. Go.
Right, my signature dish is...
Did I cook? Oh, it's really bad. It's an omelette. Isn't that boring?
No.
Sorry. But I do like ketchup in my omelette, and I know that might be controversial.
My go-to cocktail is...
I already mentioned it. It's a perfect rye Manhattan, or a Sassenach gin, straight.
Which we still have to try,
sample,
actually. Yeah. A food I've always wanted to try.
Food I've always wanted to try. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd love to go back to Japan. I was in Tokyo very briefly and had some incredible food, one of which wasn't so great. I thought it was dessert, and at the end of the meal, and very, very quickly here, it looked like sort of like strawberries and ice cream. And so I tucked into it thinking, oh, thank God, something, that I recognize. And it was raw fish guts and fermented tofu. So essentially tofu that had gone off with raw fish guts. It was very challenging for me. So I wouldn't want to eat that again, but I'd love to go back and try some more.
Okay. The best food I've ever had.
Best food I've ever had. Oh, that's really tough. I guess, I mean, I would be going there if I still loved it, but I do love going, as I said before, my friend's place in New York, Chinese Tuxedo, great food. Do you know what? Gaga last week was awesome. Really good.
Yeah, Julie's great. Did you meet her?
Briefly, when we were walking down the street, someone may have been drinking Buckfast. It wasn't me. So we made a swift exit.
Okay. That's always a good thing when someone's on Buckfast.
You know it's a night.
The worst thing I've ever tasted that's not that fish guts.
Well, probably that. I went to... in Los Angeles, one of my first times there, working on the show, and we were doing a press tour, and we had to sit at the table all day with journalists, cycle through. We got to eat, like we are doing now. I opted for some tuna tartare, and about 6-7 hours later, as we were finishing up, I realised that I got food poisoning. Mm-hmm. But I was being taken to, he was officially called the sushi Nazi. He was this very famous sushi chef in Los Angeles, and if you didn't like something or you did something wrong, he would throw you out. I got there with food poisoning, literally, and he sat there, and I felt I couldn't say no. I couldn't go because it was with a lot of important people, and I was sitting there, but I was like, I can't eat. And he said, no one is eating tonight unless you eat. And I was so ill, and so I literally was sweating, and I had to keep going to the bathroom to throw up, whatever. He kept waiting for me. He'd be like, I'll wait till you come back. It was horrendous, but I'm sure the food was delicious. I just had food poisoning.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very relaxing.
It was pretty...
Even if you're feeling okay.
I'm starting to sweat thinking about it now. It was awful. Yeah.
We've probably also covered this as well. Breakfast for me is...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do love eggs. Eggs are great, but I'll go back to porridge. You can't go wrong. I do love adding protein powder to it. So you can kind of make it chocolatey or vanilla, and then it's got to have tons of things on it, like frozen blueberries and peanut butter and sprinkles. It's kind of like a dessert, but it's delicious.
A celebratory meal consists of...
A celebratory meal consists of, I mean, whatever it is, whether you're having champagne and oysters or 3 courses or 5 courses, but it's always got to end well, hasn't it? And I think a good whiskey by the fire, it's got to be a good ending. Maybe a wee bit of chocolate of some sort.
Nice. A food that makes me think of home.
Food that makes me think of home. Going back to the rhubarb in the gin, my mum used to make, when we were in Galloway, a rhubarb crumble. And I've been making it myself recently with some blackberries that I found this October near my house, wild ones. And it always makes me think of home and being a child. And I guess maybe that's why we've got blackberry leaf and rhubarb in the gin as well.
Nice.
Well, the one last thing you have to do is try the gin.
Oh, of course,
straight,
yeah, of course.
Which I mean, it's probably not how you want to end or start your day.
It smells nice.
But I want to see what you thought of it.
Well, it smells good for a start.
On the nose, you get
I feel like maybe because you've just said blackberry, that's what I'm getting.
blackberry and I think apple. Cheers. Or
Cheers.
slangers.
Slang. It's really smooth.
See, now this is it. Not many people drink gin straight.
No, but you could.
You can, and you do, obviously, in a martini, but I think that's exactly it. It's really smooth. It's really balanced. A lot of fruit flavour, and then, like, I guess I called it umami earlier, but like that mouth-feel deliciousness. So thank you for drinking straight gin with me.
That's all right. It's some kind of Wednesday. I'm not normally doing
it's going to be a
this.
Wednesday, yeah. But no, I appreciate it. I think I'm excited for people to try it, and thank you so much for my lunch.
That's all right.
Delicious.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you in person.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
You can keep the bottle.
Oh, thanks very much.